Pride pregame show on the Greensboro College Sports Network. He's Stephen Weidenhouse. I'm Kendrick Fruits, and it's time for men's basketball here as the Pride take on Brevard College. Feels like it's been forever and a half since we've had a game here with all the winter weather issues going on, but Greensboro College coming off a loss against Southern Virginia. Stephen, while that in itself may not necessarily be I don't want to say a surprise, but obviously we know SVU is a really good team this year. But to me, looking at that game, with all the negatives you could find in it, the first thing I saw was that the scoring was spread out offensively for Greensboro College. And I think that was a huge, or is a huge thing that they've talked about all year. And recently, I think we've started to kind of see that come to fruition a little bit more, where anybody can take over. And in fact, they spread it out really well, and it makes it hard to figure out who to guard.
Yeah, for sure. We've seen Jeremiah Howard have some really good games lately. Obviously DJ Jackson's had, multiple great games. I think one thing, when we talk about spreading it around, there's a couple of guys that I think you want to start to see step up, though, and take a little bit more of the scoring. I think Will Gray is one of those guys that has the potential to do that. I think him and DJ are a great combo. But I'd like to see Will be able to score the ball a little bit more along with DJ to really have a great backcourt threat to go along with Jeremiah Howard down low. I think you've missed Nigel Stroman for sure. I think his presence, not being there has hurt because of his talent, and how versatile he is. But I think that, you're right. The scoring is spread out. We've talked about that all year long, about how the potential of this team is they've got 5, 6, 7 guys that can score, 15 to 17, maybe 20 points on any given night. So that is a good thing. Last night, it was Q Ingram, scored 18, led the team. And having him back has been great because, again, we talked about the backcourt of Will and DJ, but Q's right there just as talented. So,
and I want to actually interrupt you really quickly right there, Stephen, because we've talked about it a few times. He had that 48-point breakout against Oglethorpe, but I think the big question was, and no disrespect to Oglethorpe, but the question was, what's he going to do when you get into conference play? You face a little bit tougher competition. We've really seen him step up recently, too.
Yeah, he's been great. I think he'll be, even more important down the stretch. Just make sure he's healthy. But that is the good thing. Like you said, we do have a lot of guys that can take over and score. Yesterday it was a little bit of a struggle. But I wouldn't say that, yesterday's game certainly wasn't any kind of a trend that we're seeing, because this has been a pretty good offensive team for the most part throughout the year. SVU, like you said, is a really solid team. They've got a lot of weapons. They run a really good offense as well. They're really balanced with their guards, and they've got 3 guys that are 6'10" or taller. So that's a tough matchup for any team. With that SVU game, not that it's not important, but I think you kind of just have to wipe it away and look forward to tonight.
And, that's kind of one of the things, too, especially now that we flipped the calendar to February, and obviously not trying to be Debbie Downer here, but I think you need to be realistic about where you are as far as the standings in the tournament goes. Greensboro, probably going to be a lower seed in the tournament. They're in a decent spot right now, but you think, SVU probably not going to beat the, top teams in the conference. So at what point do you just kind of say, hey, let's just focus on, we got to win the games that we know we can win to solidify our spot in the postseason?
Yeah, I think every year you go into it and say, well, these are the games that we should win, and then we want to take, at least, 2 to 3 games that are borderline or would be an upset. So I think Greensboro right now is pretty much on that right track. They've got a couple of teams coming up that they should be, if you just look at records. And if they take care of the business just with those teams, they'll be just fine when it comes to, making the tournament. Now, if they want to jump up to a 4 seed, or solidify, a higher seed, they are going to have to come up with some upsets. They still have Pfeiffer again. They have NC Wesleyan again. So if they could come up with a couple, or at least, one upset, right. Maybe you do see, Greensboro move up to a 4 seed, but just take care of the teams that you need to take care of, and I think they'll be all right, at least when it comes to making the tournament.
Defensively, what kind of things did SVU expose for Greensboro, or at least what kind of things did you see in that game? You said, okay, these are some areas that still need to be shored up on the defensive side.
So it's hard to see because obviously we weren't there in person, but watching on the stream, It sometimes it seems like communication is an issue. There's times where there's a lot of open lanes to the basket. I think one of the differences last night, and these are just individual plays, but there were multiple of them where SVU did a really good job of defending in the paint. There was a lot of contested shots on their defensive end against our guys, but then on the other side, when we're on defense, there weren't as many contested looks inside. So SVU got a lot of either clean one-on-one or wide open looks in the paint, and so. And you have to give credit to SVU as well. It's not just a Greensboro problem. They do a really good job of running their offense. So, but I think sometimes it is communication, and there are, like we've talked about before, there's younger players. A lot of these players, even if they're not younger, they're still new to this team. So they've gotten better though as the years gone on. So again, I don't necessarily think it's something that you worry about too much just from one game. But I thought yesterday, just kind of watching the game, there were some defensive lapses, I guess you could say, that allowed SVU to have some easy scores inside. But you also had to give credit. They hit some tough 3-point shots as well. So, overall, you give credit to SVU. But I'm sure Coach McDuffie will find some things that they can work on.
And I think at this point, again, because we are in the first week of February, you pretty much know your team's identity at this point. And as far as Greensboro College is concerned, they give up a lot of points. They score a good amount of points too. But I think that's kind of a situation where we kind of realize the team that we have on the floor and the team that Coach McDuffie has this year, you're going to have to win a lot of track meets this year. And so I think certainly we could expect to see a lot of that going down the stretch.
Yeah, for sure. And I think at full strength, Greensboro would definitely be able to do that. It's a little harder, with the injuries that they have currently. Now, granted, they have gotten some of those guys back, which has been great. But I think right now, they're just, maybe one guy, two guys short when it comes to winning those track meet games every game. They're still able to score, a good amount of points, but I think they're still one or two guys short when it comes to the defensive end of, holding the other team, under, 90 points or 85 points so that their offense can score enough. So, that doesn't also mean that can't be fixed either. We've seen plenty of times at all three divisions, every year when it comes to tournament time, a team will just pop up out of nowhere and they'll get hot down the stretch and win the tournament. That could be Greensboro. I think you have enough talent to, potentially see that. So they still got, 3 weeks left to try to get everything together on both ends of the floor. And who knows, maybe they could make a run right here at the end.
Yeah, I'd say arguably, too. 3 of Greensboro's last 4 games last year, they played some of their best basketball, too. So, as you said, obviously, certainly a lot of ball still to be played, and we'll see how this team continues to evolve as we get closer and closer to the conference tournament. As we get closer and closer to tip-off today, we're going to hear from Coach Michael McDuffie, his thoughts going into tonight's contest against Brevard on the Greensboro College Sports Network.
Hi, Pride Nation. We are here with head coach Michael McDuffie here for the pregame show. Coach, let's just go over real quick last game against Southern Virginia. Had that road trip on Tuesday. Saw some good things and ultimately, fell to the Knights. What are some things that you saw that were positive and some things that you guys want to work on this week before tonight?
Did a couple of good things offensively, but I felt like we never really got into a groove. And against a really good Southern Virginia team, you got to be at your best. They're not going to beat themselves. So I just thought we never got in a real flow on both sides of the ball. But we got to be better tonight, and we got to improve. So.
Yeah, for sure. So you got Brevard coming in tonight. They kind of struggled a little bit in conference play, but they're always a tough team. Last year you guys split with them. They've got some of the same guys coming back. You got KK Horton, Carnes is here still as well. So what are some of the tough matchups you're looking at, on the other side?
I think their ability to play small off odd positions and their ability to shoot it and put pressure to the paint. They're going to be very disciplined offensively, running their prints and stuff. They love to backdoor you. So we got to be aware and we got to be alert. All 5 guys on the floor. But from a matchup standpoint, just being able to keep them in front, contest the 3-point shot, and manage the quickness and athleticism that they have. So.
Now, last year, when you took over, one of those games was against Brevard here at home, and you guys did a great job defensively. So is there anything you can take from that game a year ago, or is it just kind of completely different?
I'd like to take some things from that matchup, but obviously personnel is different. The ability to kind of transfer things is a little different. So it's gonna look somewhat different, but yet again, we got to stick to our plan, and we got to be on top of things on both sides of the ball. So.
Now, Kendrick and I talked a little bit, beforehand about maybe some of the players who we want to see step up here those next couple of weeks. Is there anybody that you want to see or that you've even talked to that, from a scoring output standpoint or even maybe a defensive standpoint that you want to kind of see step up here as we get to these last few weeks?
I think freshman Dwight Vincent, he struggled a little bit shooting the basketball, leads the USA South in three-point field goal percentage. So obviously he's hitting that wall as a freshman, so I'd like to get him going, see a couple go through. And obviously DJ Jackson, he's got to continue to stay aggressive. He's been good for us the last couple of games. But I think the X factor is always Jeremiah Howard, what he gives us inside, his ability to impose his will using his size and strength. So I think he should be big for us. And again, conversely, on the defensive end, it's going to have to be a pick your poison type deal. But looking for those guys to kind of step up, and obviously Will Gray, he's got to be magnificent for us. So.
For sure. Talking about Jeremiah Howard, one of the things that we've seen throughout this year is, he's kind of quiet that first part of the year, but then these last few weeks he's really stepped up and had some good games. What's changed or been different for him?
I think his mentality and his approach. He's coming in practice with intent, not just existing, putting in work on the side. So he's had a string of good practices leading up to the last two games. Took a dive last game, but still, I think he's in the right headspace, and hopefully he can kind of continue where he left off in the game against Memphis.
Awesome. And we'll, last thing, kind of one or two keys to this game. I know you kind of briefly previewed Brevard just a second ago, but what's one thing or maybe two things that you want to see your team do really well tonight if you're going to win?
One, first and foremost, guard as long as we need to. Brevard's going to run their stuff. They're going to be patient. They're not going to stray away from it, so we've got to be engaged for all 30 seconds if it takes. And then from an execution standpoint, just being patient and running good offense. Obviously, they're going to switch 1 through 5, so we got to do a good job of recognizing where mismatches are and holes in their defense.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Coach, for joining us here on the pregame show. We're just a few minutes away from tip-off, so stay right here with us on the Greensboro College Sports Network.
And we welcome you into Haynes Gym for today's edition of Greensboro College men's basketball here on the Greensboro College Sports Network. Kendrick Fruits, Jay-Sean Ayala here with you. And Jay-Sean, it feels like it's been a hot minute since we've been here. In fact, Tuesday when Greensboro College lost on the road to SVU was their first game in 10 days, and it feels like it's been even longer for us.
Yeah, no, glad to be back in Haynes Gym. It's been a while. Excited to see what this team can do against a bottom of the half of the USA South Brevard team. But this is a huge opportunity for us to get another conference win and pick up some momentum going forward.
And let me ask you this before we get into the nuts and bolts of today's game. One of the things last year that we said was really challenging for Greensboro was the fact that it felt like anybody in the bottom of the USA South could beat anybody on that's in the bottom of the division as well. And it kind of felt like everybody used each other as punching bags and nobody really gained any momentum. Kind of a similar situation this year. What do you have to do to stand out and get yourself into the postseason?
Yeah, it's always a fun conference when you see like games that you would say someone call a trap game or something like that. But it's a good team, a fundamental team that's going to come out and give you a hard two halves every single time they go out. So what you got to do against a team that sees themselves as the underdog is limit the momentum and limit the runs that they can go on. If you can do that and maintain control, you put yourself in a better position to defend against the upset.
Well, I'll go ahead and give you a second to look on there. I'm going to give you toss it over to you for a minute for a player to watch for both sides, but I'll go ahead and just kind of mention mine right now. And firstly, when I look at this team for Brevard, obviously you've got Jaden Cards, you got Twain Wilson, guys that can score. But one of the guys that I'm looking at right now is Drayshawn Brown, a guy who's averaging 7 points a game and 6 rebounds a game. And you want to talk about one of the things that the Greensboro has struggled with at times this year is sending guys to the line. And I think about a guy like Drayshawn Brown who's shooting 44% from the free throw line. If Greensboro is going to have trouble playing smart defensively, that's a guy maybe you want to just send to the line and take your chances.
Yeah, we've seen a lot so far in this year. The foul trouble early on, first half, getting into foul trouble in the second half. Against a team that's great free throw shooting, that's very tough. But, as you said, Brown, not as good from the stripe as, maybe some of the other guards you've seen so far this year. So maybe you're able to be a little bit more flexible with the fouls you give.
Who's the guy you're looking at for Greensboro today?
Yeah, I say this a lot, but I'm going to go with Will Gray again. I think when Will Gray is on, this whole team is on. He brings a different energy, a different fire to the team. And like we saw last time we were here, when he's scoring, the whole team just fundamentally better.
I think I'm going to look at Jeremiah Howard today. He's a guy who's really come on as of late. In his last 3 games, averaging 13.7 points per game and 9.7 rebounds per game. And this is what we've been waiting on, Jay Sean. We've said it time and time again. We said, man, if Jeremiah Howard can stay on the floor, he'll start putting some big numbers up for Greensboro. We've really started to see that over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, excited to see that. Hopefully continue. We've said it a lot. When he's in foul trouble, it's a lot easier for the other team in terms of rebounds, in terms of paint points. When he's on the floor, he's a force to be reckoned with. And he knows that himself. He knows that if he can stay out of foul trouble, there's not many bigs in this conference that can guard him.
Yeah, 3 games ago on the road at Mary Baldwin, set career highs with 19 points and 14 rebounds. Greensboro College comes into today's game with a 7-11 record, 3-4 in conference, and Brevard 8-11 with 1-7 their mark in the USA South. So we'll go ahead and step aside for the national anthem, and when we get back, it'll be time for the starting lineup. So we'll get this one underway on the Greensboro College Sports Network. Every college athlete has a story to tell, and at Greensboro College, we believe no one is better equipped to tell those stories than the athletes themselves. On the Getting to Know podcast, you'll hear the who, what, when, where, why, and how of each college athlete's journey to Greensboro and how they became a member of the Pride. We talk on and off the field, influences, hobbies, goals, and what it means to be a member of the Pride. It's all on the Getting to Know podcast on Spotify and YouTube.
I just really felt like I was a person, and they really cared about you, not only as like an athlete, but, as an individual as well. And so that was one of the things that led me here, honestly.
The Getting to Know podcast from Greensboro College Athletics. We are one Pride, and these are our stories. Well, it's icy and cold outside, but things are about to heat up inside here at Haynes Gym as we get set for today's USA South action. It's men's basketball. Greensboro College hosting Brevard. Once again, Kendrick Fruits, Jay Sean Ayala here with you, and we thank you for spending your Thursday evening with us. Let's take a look at today's starting lineup. First off, for the visiting Tornadoes of Brevard. First off, it'll be number 2, Drayshawn Brown, a senior guard from Greensboro, North Carolina, averaging 6.9 points per game. Number 3, KK Horton, a senior guard from Asheville, averaging 10.9. Brock McKnight, a junior guard from Sparta, North Carolina, averaging 5.7 points per game. Jaden Cards, number 12, he is a senior forward from Concord, North Carolina, averaging 16.4 points per game. That is a team high for the Tornadoes. Twain Wilson, a sophomore guard from Columbia, South Carolina, he averages 16.3. For Greensboro College, your starting lineup looks like this. It's USA South's leading scorer, DJ Jackson, a junior guard from High Point. He's averaging 18.5 points per game. Number 10, Jeremiah Howard, a sophomore, a forward from Concord, North Carolina. Number 12, Will Gray. He's a junior guard from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And number 32, Dwight Benson, averaging 10.1 points per game. He's a freshman guard from Durham. And Q Ingram, averaging 14.1 points per game, a freshman guard from Greensboro. And Jay Sean, as we bring you back in before we get started here, any last thoughts as far as what Greensboro needs to do to come away with the win tonight?
Yeah, I love the starting lineup here. A lot of scorers, a lot of shot creators. I think, as I just said, if they can create shots, maybe get to the line, as you said, DJ Jackson, the leading scorer here in the USA South. We know how good he is at the stripe. If everybody plays their game, they set themselves up for a good game.
Looking back at Greensboro's loss on the road at Southern Virginia a couple of nights ago, and I think one of the big things, I think you look at the way that the Pride have played the last couple of games, Jay Sean, and it looks like they've gotten to the point where they realize we're not a three-point shooting team. They've almost stopped shooting threes. In fact, you think about the fact that Jackson leads the conference in scoring. He's made 2 threes this year.
Yeah, he finds his ways to score, and it's very unique, and we see it work.
And we are underway here at Haynes Gym. Jeremiah Howard tips it back to Will Gray. And we get started. Greensboro wearing white with the green trim. Brevard wearing blue with the white trim. Ingram backing up to Vincent now. To Gray trying to get around his man. Kicks it out to Jackson. We said he doesn't shoot the three. That one dies on the front of the rim. Rebound taken by Brown. And a quick sprint the other way. Layup there from Jaden Carnes. We mentioned he's the leading scorer of the Tornadoes, and he quickly puts Brevard on the board. Gray up top to Howard. Now to Ingram. Stolen away, rolls out of bounds. Off the hands of Horton. Greensboro maintains possession.
Brevard going to look to get those turnovers, those steals, force bad passes if they can. They know what they have to do to stop this offense.
This is the 13th matchup between the Pride and the Tornadoes since 2018. Greensboro leads 7-5. Nice pass down low to Howard. That one, though, rims around, no good. Everything good except the finish. Horton now in the front court for the Tornadoes. Brown kicks this one over to Horton deep in the left wing, up top to Brown. Now slings it around to McKnight. Tornadoes content to pass around the perimeter for now. Shot clock down to 10. We'll expect that to change. Pass down low to Carnes. Shot's no good. Howard's going to be called for a foul. We mentioned Jeremiah Howard's given Greensboro double-digit minutes in each of the last 4 games, but drawing a foul here a minute 20 in.
Yeah, his last couple games have been great for him. Some of his best play this season. You know, and he did well by staying out of foul trouble early on. And hopefully he can do that here.
First free throw good. So it's a 3-0 lead for the Tornadoes as Carnes is an 88.5% free throw shooter this year. That's about as automatic as it gets in the USA South as he drills the second as well. You know, you talk about kind of the turnaround last year for Greensboro, such a rough start to the year, and things really improved by the time you got close to the tournament. As Will Gray stops, picks up the dribble, slings this out to Vincent. Now to Ingram up top. Right-hand side of the lane trying to back down his man. That shot blocked there by Brown. Loose ball in the lane taken by Gray and Ingram. And a jump ball called possession arrow to Brevard. But to finish that thought, Greensboro was absolutely blown out by Brevard on the road last year. And then after Coach McDuffie took over, Greensboro won a tight contest here at Haynes Gym. And it was really symbolic of the fact that this was a new team with a new identity. Horton sprinting to the right-hand side, up top to Carnes. Gives this one off now to Wilson. Wilson dribbling with the left hand, bounce pass, looking inside for McKnight. Bobbled it for a moment, but it's put up and in anyways by Carnes, and it's 6-0. Carnes has all 6 points.
Connor, problem early on here for the Pride. Matching up very well so far down low.
Vincent bothered there by Horton. Gives this off to Jackson. Greensboro still looking to get on the scoreboard. Gray bobbles the pass from Roberts. Now backs out and they reset. Ingram thought about a deep contested three on the left wing. Thought about it again. Now gives it to Vincent. Shot clock to 4. They got to make something happen. Will Gray pulls up deep. 3-ball, air ball, and out of bounds.
Just a swarmy defensive possession there from the Tornadoes. Forcing the Pride to keep passing out beyond the arc. Makes it hard to run your offense.
And, you know, Greensboro, if they're going to start putting up threes, one guy you're going to need to look at is Dwight Vincent. He's one of the best three-point shooters in the USA South, but he's been cold recently. Nice pass on the baseline, laid up and in to KK Horton. And Jay Sean, we've seen that a few times already as Coach McDuffie's going to have to burn a timeout. But we've seen a few times today where already the Tornadoes are sprinting along the baseline and Greensboro is not noticing.
Yeah, they're going completely unnoticed on the baseline. Baseline passes are some of the freest points you can get. So, you know, we'll see what the Pride does defensively. Maybe try to switch up what they're doing schematically and try to limit the baseline a little bit more.
An early 8-0 deficit here for Greensboro. But to finish that thought on Vincent, obviously one of the best three-point shooters in the USA South. And unfortunately, you look at his numbers over the last couple of games, just 5 of 24 from the floor and 2 of 12 from 3. That's a guy the Pride really need to get heated up again.
Yeah, a team that struggles already as it is shooting the three-point ball. When your best shooter is not shooting as well as normal, your offense is going to see a hit. So if we can get Vincent going today, it's going to be huge.
Gray with it at the free throw line, sends it to Jackson. Jackson pulls up, jumper no good off the back iron. Offensive board though, Q Ingram at a tough layup. Greensboro finally on the board. Down low, Brown trying to work on Ingram. Gets a little bit of separation. Shot no good. Loose ball punched out, goes to Carnes. And the Tornadoes maintain possession. Brown now left-hand layup good. And it's 10-2. Ingram on the right wing, hands it off to Vincent. Now to Gray. Jackson, a tough shot in the lane, no good, but a foul called. It's going to be on Carnes, I believe. DJ Jackson trying to force contact, which he did, and it will send him to the lane. When we come back, Greensboro trailing at 10-2 at the under 16 timeout on the Greensboro College Sports Network.
Greensboro College, to Greensboro College, to Greensboro College. To Greensboro College.
$15:59 to go. Greensboro trailing Brevard 10-2. Your score in the early going. And already you look at the shot discrepancy. Tornadoes are 4 out of 5. Greensboro is just 1 out of 5. But one thing that has always seemed to be a little bit of good medicine for the Pride is going to the free throw line, and DJ Jackson has a chance here.
Yeah, definitely your guy that you want at the line, leading scorer in the conference. I don't want to jinx him, but high chance he'll knock these down.
Jackson, also the leading free throw shooter in the conference. Shot is good, or free throw is good. Second coming for DJ, and that's good as well. So it's 10-4. Check that. I think I might have said leading free throw shooter in the conference. He's leading in percentage on the team, leading the conference in total free throws made. Another cut on the baseline, and again, Greensboro not ready for it.
The backdoor cuts, the V cuts from the Tornadoes, making it very hard for the Pride and their man defense to stop these backdoor cuts. Look for a switch possibly schematically from the Pride.
Jackson up top to Roberts. 3-ball, no good. Front iron, back iron, and off. Brown racing into the front court now. Gives this one off to Wilson. Wilson tees up a 3. That's no good. Ingram comes down with the rebound. That'll be the second for Q. Up top to DJ Jackson now. Ingram, a guy who's been very streaky offensively, but you know he can get it done. Contested shot in the lane. Jackson, no good. Picks up his own miss, though. Goes up too strong. Rebound taken by Carnes. DJ just trying to force a little bit more contact. This time, though, not able to get the call. Horton to Wilson, another 3 in and out, no good. And Gray comes down with the board. Collided with Roberts for a moment, but no harm, no foul. Gray trying to spin around Carnes. Another tough shot in the lane, no good. Greensboro trying to force the issue inside. A little bit of miscommunication there for Brevard. Wilson's pass out of bounds. And it'll be Greensboro basketball.
Just got to keep stacking stops if you're the Pride. Couple back-to-back right there. If you can capitalize off of one of these, maybe get a three-pointer to knock down, maybe go to the line. Set yourself up in a better position to make this a little bit closer.
Will Gray, a guy that Coach McDuffie mentioned in the pregame show as far as somebody who we'd like to get back on track. There's a 3 from Ingram. Back iron, no good. Loose ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Roberts. So checking in now, Tyler Baldwin, the sophomore from Atlanta, Georgia, as Twain Wilson comes out. Two teams, a combined 0 for 5 from three-point range through the first almost 6 minutes. Baldwin crossing half court, gives this to Brown. Back to Baldwin. He's got Jackson on him, now up top. That's McKnight. Yariel Chudgar Benitez is checked in for the Pride. And a loose ball there. Ingram tried to take it away, but Q's going to be called for the foul. Actually, check that. Chudgar Benitez is going to pick up the foul. First personal team foul, number 2. Deep feed up top for the Tornadoes. Now kicking this one out. A 3 from Brown. Missed everything except for the waiting hands of Will Gray. Gray sprinting into the front court. Handoff to Jackson. Jackson in the lane. No good. And going the other way now is Horton. Horton left-hand side of the lane. Underhand layup. Good and 1. And right now, nothing working for the Pride defensively or offensively.
Yeah, Tornadoes making it apparent to just get out on the break as much as they can. Get as many free points as they can. And it's working so far.
Nigel Chivers checking in now for Greensboro. Free throw coming. And good for Horton, 15-4. Jackson to Chudgar Benitez up top. Looking for Roberts, finds Roberts. Roberts trying to direct traffic. He's picked up his dribble. He needs help. Gives it to Chivers now. 3-ball. No good. Loose ball in the lane, taken there by McKnight. Ryan Roberts battled for it, not able to come down with it though. KK Horton now directing traffic for the Tornadoes. Hands this off to Baldwin. Baldwin just inside the arc straight away. Kicks it now into the left wing. That's Brown. Back up top. Baldwin 3. That's good. First 3 made tonight for either team. It's 18-4.
One thing I realized that the Tornadoes kind of going with a small ball lineup. Karnas, they're big, looks to be the tallest player on the floor for them. And they're still rebounding very well.
Ingram, a contested shot in the lane. That's good. Q Ingram's got all 6 of Greensboro's points. Looks like Greensboro right now seems content to try to force things in the lane, either draw contact or make a contested layup. There's another 3 no good by McKnight. Greensboro running the other way. Unfortunately for the Pride, a lot of those contested layups have not fallen.
No, they haven't. You're going to need to at least get to the line with a lot of these.
Chudgar Benitez picks up his dribble. The Pride again passing around the perimeter. Ingram in the lane, a spin move, another contested shot, and good. You see the playmaking ability of Q Ingram here today. He's got all 8 of Greensboro's points.
Yeah, I talk about it a lot. Q Ingram, possibly one of the best shot creators in this conference. He shows it there. He's got 8.
You know, I think the big thing, Jay Sean, for me, as far as Ingram goes, and again, you got to remember he's a freshman. Is that shot no good from Horton? But it's the consistency. You look at his last 4 games, 19, 9, 2, and 18 points. So I think as soon as we get a little more consistency there, then you're going to see something really special as Jackson on the offensive putback, 18-10.
Yeah, if we could see him and Jackson both have their best night in the same night, I would be scared for the other team.
Handed off to Brown. Brown up top. Roberts on him. Brown pulls up. Foot on the line. Shot goes almost out of bounds. Tried to save it to McKnight. Instead, Chivers with it in the lane and in the bucket. 18-12 with 11 minutes to play.
Good 8-0 run from the Pride there in the last minute and 50 seconds. Like I said, you needed to limit the momentum and build off it as much as you can.
Almost an errant pass there to Horton, but he's able to flag it down. Works to the right, a bounce pass again over through the lane on the baseline, looking for a cutting Brown. Chudgar Benitez is going to be called for a foul. That'll take us to the under 12 timeout. 10:39 to play. Greensboro clawing their way back in. 18-12 your score on the Greensboro College Sports Network. College athlete has a story to tell, and at Greensboro College we believe no one is better equipped to tell those stories than the athletes themselves. On the Getting to Know podcast, you'll hear the who, what, when, where, why, and how of each college athlete's journey to Greensboro and how they became a member of the Pride. We talk on and off the field, influences, hobbies, goals, and what it means to be a member of the Pride. It's all on the Getting to Know podcast on Spotify and YouTube.
You know, I just really felt like I was a person, you know, and they really cared about you, not only as like an athlete, but, you know, as an individual as well. And so that was one of the things that like led me here, honestly.
The Getting to Know podcast from Greensboro College Athletics. We are one Pride, and these are our stories. 10:39 to play. Foul on Yariel Chudgar Benitez was his first personal, team foul number 4. And going to the line now is Drayshawn Brown.
Pride have quickly turned the rebound game around. They were trailing early on by just around 7 or 8 rebounds. And now they've brought the rebound battle just within 1, 10-9 in favor of the Tornadoes.
Brown's free throw is good. The guy we talked about in the pregame show, under 50% for the year. Makes 1 of 2 there. Jeremiah Howard's checked back in. And Nigel Chivers with it, sends it up top to Zaquan Bowling, now to Jackson. Down low to Howard. Howard a bit of a size advantage in the lane. Shot rattles around and good. Mismatch there. Howard on Baldwin, who's just 5'10". That's about 8 inches to the favor of Jeremiah Howard.
I love Bowling and Howard on the floor at the same time. Creates a huge mismatch down low for the opposing team.
I'm sorry, Jay Sean. 3 ball no good for Baldwin. And here's Gray in the lane. Nice move, but shot's too strong. And Osuji comes down with the rebound. Noah Osuji, 6'4". Shot at the lane is good for McKnight. McKnight's first points in the game, 21-14. The Brevard lead is 7. Pass down low to Howard, out of bounds, off of the hands of Baldwin.
This Brevard team has to be one of the better teams I've ever seen with the timing and the chemistry on the backdoor cuts. It's very impressive, and it's worked for them so far here in this one.
Well, I think, too, some of that has to do with the fact they've all been playing for a while. A lot of seniors on this team. In fact, only 4 freshmen on this 2025-26 roster. Pass up top to Howard. Chivers up top. Pass to Jackson now. Nice return feed. Lost the handle of it, though. Loose ball in the lane. Goes to Wilson. I like the thought process there from Howard, or from Jackson. They just didn't have the execution there. Baldwin to Wilson. Now to McKnight. Sends this one up to Wilson. 3 ball, no good. And Chivers with the board.
For a second, I thought Howard might intercept that one midair.
Tough pass down low to a double-teamed Howard. Shot is good and one. Jeremiah Howard muscling his way up and a chance for a 3-point play. Howard's got 4 points. Picking up the foul is Asuji, which will be his first personal. Howard's free throw good, 21-17. Baldwin with the give to Black, now back down low. McKnight to Black, lost the handle for a moment, and the reason is because Will Gray is called for the foul.
You're the Pride. This is a huge defensive possession. You've brought the game within 2 possessions. When you were once down just around 10 points, if you can make this a 1-possession game and capitalize off a stop here, you're set up well.
Already the second personal foul charged to Gray. Team foul number 5. And Baldwin looking to inbound. Sends this one all the way up top to Khalil Black. Now to Horton. Horton to Wilson, back to Horton now. Kicks this one out to Black, now up top to Asuji. To Wilson again. A lot of quick ball movement. Mid-range pull-up jumper, no good. Soaring for the board with one hand, there's Chivers. Up ahead to Gray now. Back to Chivers, to Roberts, to Jackson. Greensboro working quickly around the perimeter. Now to Roberts at the free throw line. Pulls up. That one dies on the front of the rim. But Roberts in the right place for the offensive board and lays it in left-hand side. 2-point game.
It's an example of a high percentage shot right there. If I'm a coach, I'd want my forward taking that shot every time. He follows up with a good offensive rebound. Gets him the 2 points.
Wilson up top to Asuji, looking for a cutting teammate. Instead finds Chivers. Greensboro a chance to tie or take the lead. Gray spinning left-hand side of the lane. Layup, good, we're tied at 21. Pride taking advantage of a couple of Brevard miscues here in the recent going. Gray overcommitted trying to pick up the interception. It allows for an open 3 from Wilson, but it spins out. Roberts with the board, and the Pride running the other way. Gray, left-hand side, foul called. And it will be charged to number 11, Tyler Baldwin. So that will take us to our under 8 timeout. But we got a brand new ball game here at Haynes Gym, all square at 21 on the Greensboro College Sports Network. Well, we talked about the fact that Greensboro College had not played a whole lot recently due to the winter weather. You look at Brevard, too. They played a home game on the 23rd of January, and then they went to Mary Baldwin on the 31st of January. They haven't played in the 6 days since. So much like Greensboro, Brevard maybe not shaking the rust off, but shaking some icicles off at the very least.
Yeah, definitely. It's been very chilly over here. Cause for some cancellations. You've seen the Pride come out a little bit slow, but a 17-3 run has now put them in a position to lead in this game.
Gray's first free throw, no good. Gray this year is a 67% free throw shooter. That one good. And the Pride take a 22-21 lead. Horton inbounds to Baldwin. As Greensboro, their first lead of the game. Brevard's largest lead has been 14 points. Baldwin trying to change that in and out. There's been a couple of threes by Baldwin and Wilson specifically that really, I don't know how they didn't go in. But right now the Tornadoes just 1 of 9 from beyond the arc. Jackson down low to Howard. Howard, again, the size advantage. Shot's no good, but offensive board there by Jackson. He's fouled, trying to go back up. So DJ back to the free throw line. And it was interesting when you saw the Jeremiah Howard with that really short, high percentage shot, you could tell he realized as soon as he let go that he didn't have the right trajectory on that shot.
Yeah, he's so used to being down low, getting those putbacks. He knew he had to go right up and get that one again.
Ingram hands this one off to Chivers. Using a pick there from Howard. To Roberts deep in the left wing, now to Jackson. Jackson looking for a little separation. Tries to pass to Chivers in the corner. There's a foul called on the floor. And the foul is going to be called on Khalil Black, which will be his first personal and team foul number 6. Chivers to inbound. Up top to Howard. Howard muscles his way in. The dunk attempt is no good. Second chance there. Roberts to Ingram on the putback. Jay Sean, I'm not entirely sure what to call that other than 2 points.
Yeah, I would call that a chain of events, but it ends up in points, so we'll give it to him.
So the Pride lead is now 3. Contested shot on Howard, no good. And Chivers racing the other way. Nigel Chivers in the lane, stripped on the way up, goes out of bounds off of Horton. No, they're going to say it's off of Chivers, and it'll be Brevard ball.
I thought at least we would get a foul, but no, not there.
I'll tell you what, we've not seen a lot of Nigel Chivers this year, but he's flashy with the ball.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Only his 3rd game so far this year. He's flowing well, offensively out on the break and defensively as well.
Horton up top to Baldwin. Now to Brown. Wilson. Baldwin now into the corner. Horton driving, and again, there's the cut under the basket. It's Carnes. Lays it in. It's a 1-point game.
I was just going to talk quickly about how the Pride switched up what they're doing defensively now in a 2-3 zone. I thought it would work well against the baseline. Roberts followed that one there, but not able to come up with the stop.
Ingram stripped there, and Horton now on the run up ahead. Horton, a nice give in the lane to Wilson. Good and 1. And now Ingram and Howard having a conversation in the lane as Jeremiah Howard picks up his 2nd foul. I'll say this, though, too. We've talked about that cut play that Brevard's been running. It seems to work the best when Carnes is in the lineup.
Yeah, he's a good facilitator, good finisher, one of their leading scorers, and he's shown his game today.
Free throw coming from Wilson. Wilson with 2 points on the day. Free throw is good. And the Tornadoes regain the lead 26-24 with 5.5 to play. Chivers spin move there, now working towards the baseline. Contested, off-balance shot, no good, but an offensive board. Jackson, tough angle there on the offensive putback, no good. Loose ball, McKnight sends this up ahead to Wilson, and they're on the run. Wilson to Carnes, easy lay-in. 28-24, Carnes has 10.
Brevard doing what they can with the small ball lineup, and one thing, you can run the floor, and that's what they've done early on here in this one.
Howard up top gives it to Chivers in the left lane, or the left wing rather. Working on Carnes, pull-up jumper, no good. Howard, though, offensive board, and he's going to be fouled. Howard can't get the putback, but he'll go to the line where he's 1 of 1. McKnight picking up the foul. That will be his first personal, team foul number 6. Howard's free throw is good. Greensboro 5 out of 6 from the free throw line tonight. Second free throw coming for Howard. And it's good. He's got such a clean stroke from the free throw line.
Yeah, it's shown to be valuable here in this one. He's perfect from the stripe.
28-26, the Brevard lead. Wilson up top to Horton. Horton lost the handle, trying to dribble between his legs. Finds McKnight. Back to Horton now. They reset with 11 seconds on the shot clock. Again, the cut. This time it's Wilson with the lay-in, 30-26.
Pride tried to go back to man there, trying to catch him sleeping a little bit, but backdoor cut yet again.
Chivers looking for Roberts. Roberts looking the other way. It's a turnover, and it's Brevard ball. Well, I know one thing defensively the Pride are going to talk about it at halftime. Jay Sean is going to be protecting the baseline.
Yeah, they're definitely going to need to switch up what they're doing.
Wilson up top to Carnes. Kicks this one into the corner to McKnight. Now Brown to a wide-open McKnight. 3-ball in and out again. Howard with the rebound. I know there's not a statistical category for you got robbed, but there's a couple you can put on the Tornadoes ledger tonight.
Yeah, definitely a couple in and outs.
Chivers looking for help. Lobs this one down to Howard in the lane. Goes up, and the two-hand finish. Well, when you get a height advantage like that, you got to take advantage of it. Now there is a stoppage and a timeout, which will take us to the under 4. 3:40 to go in the first half. It is 30-28 in favor of Brevard on the Greensboro College Sports Network. College athlete has a story to tell, and at Greensboro College, we believe no one is better equipped to tell those stories than the athletes themselves. On the Getting to Know podcast, you'll hear the who, what, when, where, why, and how of each college athlete's journey to Greensboro and how they became a member of the Pride. We talk on and off the field, influences, hobbies, goals, and what it means to be a member of the Pride. It's all on the Getting to Know podcast on Spotify and YouTube.
You know, I just really felt like I was a person, you know, and they really cared about you, not only as like an athlete, but, you know, as an individual as well. And so that was one of the things that like led me here, honestly.
The Getting to Know podcast from Greensboro College Athletics. We are one Pride, and these are our stories. .340 to go in the first half, and despite all the adverse weather, quite a bit of support I see here from Greensboro College Athletics. I saw women's soccer. There's some volleyball representation. Men's soccer is here. I saw some men's lacrosse here, and women's basketball is here as well. They don't have a game tonight.
Yeah, when students are on campus, it's always a fun environment. Teams come out. Pride supports Pride. It's a great community.
Brevard with it now up 2, kicking it around the perimeter right now. Brown's thought about driving left-hand side, sends it back out. Carnes to Brown. Oh, looking to cross the court, instead finds Vincent. Great job reading that pass. Vincent now to Chivers. Greensboro looks for a tie or a chance to take the lead.
Vincent with his best Deion Sanders impression there, kind of just didn't see him myself, just intercepting the pass.
All he missed was the high step into the end zone as Jackson lays it in, tied at 30. DJ's got 4, and you know Greensboro would love to get him going. That one good by Brown, 32-30 now, under 3 to play. Hugh Ingram with 10 points to lead Greensboro, 10 points for Carnes, leading the Tornadoes. Jackson to Roberts. Hands it off to Chivers. Chivers getting his largest amount of play time this year. Jackson in the lane, contested shot too strong, rebound by Horton. Long feed up ahead to Wilson. Wilson waiting for help now. Horton up top, now to McKnight. Now to the baseline, Brown. Brown running into the lane. Shot's no good, an off-balance shot. Looked like he was trying to get around Howard.
Sometimes if you're tall like Jeremiah Howard, just got to intimidate him. He didn't even throw a hand up, just kind of stepped to him, made him fade away. Low percentage shot.
Howard sends this up top to Roberts. Straight on three ball. That's off to the left, no good. Under 2 to play, Greensboro trailing by 2. Horton to McKnight, back up top to Horton, now in the lane. They kick it around quickly. I'm not going to be able to get every player that touches the ball. Now Horton up top. Carnes just inside the left wing, or the left corner rather. Shot's no good. Minute and a half. 90 seconds left in the first half. I think regardless really of what happens from here on out, whether Greensboro has the lead or not, thinking about the fact you were down 14, this has been a successful rest of the first half. Chivers, 3 ball, no good. Jackson, offensive board, tries to go up with it, and good. We are tied at 32.
Can always count on DJ Jackson for a hustle board and a putback, and he's there, right place, right time for that too right there.
Pass down low to Carnes on the baseline. Now up top to Horton. 50 seconds left in the first half. Brown trying to get around Howard, kicks this one out. There's a 3. That's good from Carnes. Carnes has 13 points. It's 35-32, 40 seconds left.
Tornadoes moving the ball very well, making it hard for the Pride to rotate. They're trying to switch up the defense, give them different looks, but a good ball movement kind of just counteracts that.
Pride have not hit a 3 in this first half. Vincent sends it to Chivers up top. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Chivers picks up his dribble, needs help. Cutting Roberts on the baseline, gives the Tornadoes a taste of their own medicine. 10 seconds left, and the Tornadoes will play for the final shot. Horton, right-hand side, tries to get in on Howard, tries to float it over Howard, and does. And Greensboro will not be able to get anything mounted offensively. So we are 20 minutes in the books, and the Tornadoes take a 37-34 lead here on the Greensboro College Sports Network. Halftime here at Haynes Gym. Brevard leading Greensboro 37-34 at the break. And we welcome you back to our broadcast position. Kendrick Fruits, Jay-Sean Ayala here. And Jay-Sean, you know, you think about the fact that the Tornadoes jumped out to a 10-0 lead. At one point it was 18-4. Tell me it's a 3-point game at halftime. I think the Pride will take that.
Yeah, I said it pregame when you're coming into a game that you kind of really feel like you need to win, that you should win. The other team is going to come out. They're going to go out in runs. Started off hot was the Tornadoes, but the Pride answered with a 18-3 run, kind of made this game close. and now they're set up for a great second half.
Yeah, I think it's no secret for those that were watching the first half. Brevard, two things that stand out to me offensively. Obviously, it's the cuts on the baseline, which were fantastic for the Tornadoes. But the other thing, too, is just how quickly they were passing the ball back and forth. And I think that sometimes Greensboro was maybe one pass behind as far as their defensive rotation goes.
Yeah, the Pride later in that first half, they were trying to switch up the looks, and it kind of just felt like the Tornadoes knew what to do with every set they were given. The Pride came out in 2-3. They were moving the ball well. They were hitting the top of the key, the top of the post right here by the free throw line, and they kind of just know what to do. And that's making it hard for the Pride to rotate out on defense and switch their defense up schematically.
Well, we flipped to the offensive side for a minute. We kind of just briefly hit on it in the pregame show, but we said, Greensboro, a team that's kind of started to gravitate away from the three-point shot, 0 of 6 from 3 in the first half here. Is it dead? I mean, do we just have to eventually just say, hey, look, that's not working, let's go do something else?
Yeah, I mean, 0 of 6 in the first half. Kind of want to see Vincent get into it. One of the best shooters in the conference. But they're finding other ways to score. They're getting to the line. 6 of 7 from the free throw line so far in this one. I don't want to say it's dead just yet, but they're definitely going to have to set up some plays to get some three-point shooters open.
Last thing here, Jay Sean, in this segment, you talk about getting to the line, and there were a couple of times where you could tell Greensboro was trying to do that, forcing Brevard into some situations where maybe you get contact right at the rim, but either A, they weren't getting the calls, and B, then they weren't getting the layups and those supposed high percentage shots to fall. So for Greensboro, is that something you just keep attacking and try to either get a whistle or say, hey, you got to start making these shots up close?
Yeah, I find it fascinating the way the Pride guards handle crashing the boards. DJ Jackson leading in rebounds so far. He's got 6. He kind of just drives to the basket, trying to crash the boards, get the rebound, go right back up, send him to the line. We know how good of a free throw shooter he is. So when you have guards that know how to do that and how to play out of their, I guess, normal role, you're much more versatile as a team.
Greensboro with 12 second chance points compared to just 2 for the Tornadoes. We'll step aside. When we come back, we'll take a look at what else is going on around the USA South, as well as what else is going on in Greensboro College athletics. Then we'll take a look at first half stats and get ready for half number 2. It's all coming up here at halftime. Brevard leading it by 3 on the Greensboro College Sports Network. Every college athlete has a story to tell, and at Greensboro College, we believe no one is better equipped to tell those stories than the athletes themselves. On the Getting to Know podcast, you'll hear the who, what, when, where, why, and how of each college athlete's journey to Greensboro and how they became a member of the Pride. We talk on and off the field, influences, hobbies, goals, and what it means to be a member of the Pride. It's all on the Getting to Know podcast on Spotify and YouTube.
I just really felt like I was a person, and they really cared about you, not only as like an athlete, but, as an individual as well. And so that was one of the things that led me here, honestly.
The Getting to Know podcast from Greensboro College Athletics. We are one Pride, and these are our stories. Halftime continuing here at Haynes Gym. We take a look at what else is going on around the USA South. Now, we'll tell you about yesterday. Pfeiffer taking down William Peace yesterday, 79-69 the final score. Today's action, Methodist and North Carolina Wesleyan, the only game not being played here in Haynes Gym. That game begins in about 15 minutes, Methodist and North Carolina Wesleyan. We've got a full slate on Saturday. Peace at Baldwin, North Carolina Wesleyan at Greensboro, Pfeiffer at SVU, and Methodist at Brevard. I tell you, it feels so weird recently with kind of the starts and stops due to the weather. We haven't really gotten a chance to really reset and kind of see where things stand in the conference. So let's go ahead and take a minute now and look at those USA South standings. Southern Virginia sits atop them 8-1 right now. Pfeiffer 7-2. North Carolina Wesleyan 6-2. Methodist is 4-4. Greensboro sits a half game back at 3-4. Mary Baldwin 3-6. And then Brevard and William Peace at the bottom of the conference 1-7 each. Again, out of the 8 teams, the top 6 will make the USA South tournament. So Greensboro sits in the number 5 spot. Still to come this week on the Greensboro College Sports Networks and various other athletic capacities. Men's wrestling is on the road against Washington, or taking on Washington and Lee today, and then they're at Shenandoah tomorrow. Then on Saturday, women's wrestling heads to Lindsey Wilson College for the Lindsey Wilson Women's Open. Women's basketball travels down the road to take on Salem College in a USA South tilt. Men's basketball against North Carolina Wesleyan. That is our next broadcast at 1:40. Tip-off at 2 o'clock on Saturday. And then, hard to believe, spring season is here. Men's lacrosse gets their season started on the road at Oglethorpe at 4 o'clock on Saturday. Next week, everything really kicks into full swing on Monday. Women's basketball is at home against Methodist. Men's hoops on the road at William Peace. And then on Wednesday, softball begins. The next day, women's lax begins. Then on Friday, men's lacrosse home opener, and baseball begins their season as well. So crossover season is here. It is here with a fury, and hope you're ready for a lot of green and white athletics, because we got a lot of fun stuff coming down the pipeline over the next couple of weeks. That's a look at what else is going on in Greensboro College athletics and a swing around the USA South. We'll step aside again when we come back. First half stats on the Greensboro College Sports Network. Halftime wrapping up here at Haynes Gym. 37-34 the score in favor of the Tornadoes. Let's take a look at some of the first half numbers for Brevard. Leading scorer Carnes with 13 points. 9 points for Horton, 5 each for Brown and Wilson, 3 for Baldwin and 2 for McKnight. Rebounds leaders, 3 each for Brown and Horton, 2 each for Carnes, Wilson, and McKnight, and 1 for Asuji. Asuji rather, excuse me. And then three assists for Carnes, 4 for Horton is the team high. Brown with 2, Baldwin with 2, and Wilson with 1. 1 steal each for Wilson and Horton, 1 block each for Brown, Horton, and Baldwin. As a team, Brevard shooting 50% from the floor, 18% from 3, that's 2 of 11, and 5 of 6 from the free throw line. Comparatively, Greensboro winning the rebound battle 24-14, something the Pride don't normally dominate, but right now a pretty convincing advantage in the rebound column. 9 offensive boards for the Pride. They've turned into 12 second chance points. 1 offensive rebound for Brevard, and they scored. 12 assists for the Tornadoes, 2 for the Pride, 4 turnovers per side, so both teams doing a decent job hanging on to the ball, at least up to the midway point. Bench points go 6-3 to Greensboro, blocks 3-0 for Brevard. Fast break points 10-3 for the Tornadoes, steals 3-2 for Greensboro. Points off turnovers 5-4 in favor of Brevard. Points in the paint 28-26, a tight battle there, goes to the Pride just barely. And second chance points we mentioned already, 12-2 the Greensboro advantage. The Pride is a team shooting 38% from the floor, 0 of 6 from 3, and 6 of 7 from the free throw line. Individually for Greensboro, leading scorer Q Ingram with 10 points, 9 for Jeremiah Howard, 6 for Jackson, 4 for Roberts, 3 for Gray, and 2 for Chivers. Rebound leader is DJ Jackson with 6, 5 each for Howard and Roberts, 4 for Chivers, 2 each for Gray and Ingram. Greensboro has 2 assists today, both of them from Chivers. 1 steal each for Vincent. Vincent, Chivers, and Roberts. No blocks for the Pride. And it all adds up to a 37-34 Brevard lead. And Jay Sean, as we throw it to you, what numerically at least stood out for you in the first half?
Yeah, I'm going to go with 2 team stats, 1 for each. I think for Brevard, the assist number is a direct number for how great their ball movement has been. They have 12 assists. They're out assisting the Pride 12-2. We spoke about it in the first half. They're moving the ball great. The backdoor cuts almost perfect. The timing and chemistry is perfect. Very successful there for the Tornadoes. For the Pride, I definitely think it was the rebounding. Rebounding early on, they were trailing. They were getting out-rebounded by a team that's putting a rather small ball lineup on the floor, and they were out-rebounding them early, but the guards got in. They started crashing the boards and doing what they do best. They ended up, at the end of the half, out-rebounding the Tornadoes 24-14. And, yeah, that'll be my 2 key stats from the first half.
Well, we'll see what kind of adjustments they made. And the thing is, obviously it seems pretty cut and dry where Greensboro needs to make their adjustments. For Brevard, if you were in their locker room, what are you saying as far as what you need to change?
Yeah, I think my bigs in terms of Brevard, I think they need to crash. I think they need to box out. Jeremiah Howard doing good so far. Roberts rebounding well. They just need to box out. When you're outnumbered, boxing out is the key rebounding wise.
Nobody in foul trouble. Greensboro's got a couple with 2. Brevard has just 1 player with 2 fouls. So everybody playing pretty free and easy here as the second half gets underway. Long feed from Jackson down low to Howard. He's hacked by Horton. And Jeremiah Howard goes to the line. Well, they heard you, Jay Sean, getting to the line, and Jeremiah Howard doing exactly what they want him to do on the offensive side.
Yeah, I think we saw directly what Coach McDuffie told them at halftime. He saw a mismatch down below. As Howard misses the first one, they saw a mismatch down below. Horton on Howard, a size advantage. Definitely for Howard, gets him sent to the line.
Also, how just lucky are the Greensboro guards as Howard's second free throw no good to just say, hey, lob it up towards the basket, and Howard's probably going to come down with it.
Yeah, he's like a wide receiver or Randy Moss. He's definitely going to go up and catch that one.
McKnight working on a set pick from Carnes. Now back up top. Carnes straight on 3. Back iron no good. Howard will pluck that rebound away from Gray. Little friendly fire there, but works just the same for the Pride. Ingram working on Brown up top to Jackson. Now to Vincent. Vincent slipping a little bit now, trying to go cross the lane. Shot no good. Howard, though, on the putback. Jeremiah's got 11, and Greensboro trails by 1. Vincent slips again now defensively. Carnes around the outside working on Gray. Gives this one to McKnight. 3-ball. That's no good. Back iron. Ingram had his hands on it, lost it, now has it back, sends it up ahead to Gray. Gray to Vincent. Back to Gray. No, poked away by Wilson and out of bounds.
Yeah, what we've seen recently from teams trying to match up against Dwight Vincent, they're not giving him as much room off of the off-ball screens, on-ball screens, and it's making it a lot harder for him to get his three-point shot going.
We mentioned it earlier. Vincent just 2 of 12 from 3 over the last 4 games. Ingram, a baseline jumper, no good. He goes down to the ground, no foul. Out of bounds, last touch by the Pride. Well, we've waited a long time for a home game here in Haynes Gym. Fans here being treated to a good one. That one out of bounds, just about squarely into the official's face. Good reflexes there by the black and white stripes. Jackson up top to Gray. I think Ingram thought Gray was going to give it to him. Will Gray has other ideas. That one's swatted by Wilson in the lane. Going the other way. Good feed to Horton. Horton lays it in. And a turnover. Wilson lays it in. Greensboro, little lax on the inbound there, and Brevard quickly expands the lead to 5. Ingram gives it to Vincent. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Kicks it over to Jackson in the left wing. Jackson trying to drive on Carnes. Picks up the dribble. Has it almost taken away. Now to Howard. Now to Ingram under the basket. Nice work from left to right. Q Ingram makes it 41-38. Wilson to Carnes. Carnes had an open look at a 3 if he wanted. Passes it up. Now gives it to Wilson. Now to Horton up top. Now to Carnes. Looking for a cutting. Horton, good and 1. Horton here's a 2, and now a chance for a 3-point play.
Yeah, I mean, they've got to have some special drill they do in practice for these backdoor cuts. They are perfect and fun to watch, quite frankly.
Foul was on Gray. Horton's free throw no good. So Gray, the first player to pick up 3 fouls. Chivers is checked in for the Pride. Gives it to Roberts up top, slings it to Ingram. Ingram in the lane, looking to create again. Shot good and 1. Q Ingram slamming his hands on the floor. I think less in frustration and more in emphasis. Chance for a 3-point play now, which would give Greensboro or cut the deficit to 2 if he makes it. Ingram in and out, no good. He's stuck at 14 points. Horton was surveying the scene, lost the ball for a moment, recovers, gives it to McKnight. There's the cut. Brown, though, not able to catch the pass cleanly. Horton now driving on Chivers, goes up, tough shot and in. That's just a senior taking advantage of a freshman there and knowing you can make that move. Pass down low to Howard. Howard fouled on the floor, so the dunk doesn't count. And the foul is going to be on Carnes, which will be his 3rd. That may be something worth keeping an eye on here, Jay Sean.
Yeah, definitely. If you can get Carnes in foul trouble, one of their better scorers, puts you in a better position size-wise, that's for sure.
Chivers to Jackson. Jackson, toes on the line, so it's a long 2. It's good. DJ's got 8, and it's a 3-point game. Brown in the lane. Contested shot on Chivers. Good and 1. Chivers is going to pick up the foul. That will be his first personal, team foul number 3. And Brown will go to the line. He's 1 of 2 from the stripe today.
Brown, as we talked about pregame, one of not the highest free throw percentage shooting player on this Tornadoes team, not the worst player to send to the line, as I will eat my words.
Well, it happened to me in the first half, Jay Sean, so don't feel too bad about it. Free throw good, 48-42, under 16 to play. So the next stoppage will take us to immediate timeout. Smooth dribbling there by Chivers, gives it to Ingram. Ingram in the lane, trying to go over the outstretched arms of Brown. Shot's no good, ball out of bounds to the Tornadoes, and that'll take us to the media timeout. 15:47 to play. Brevard leads it by 6, 48-42 on the Greensboro College Sports Network. $15:47 to go. Greensboro down by 6. And you look at the numbers here, Jay Sean, and Pride shooting 50% from the floor. Well, that's good. They're 0 of 3 from the line, not so good. And Brevard just continues chugging along, 71% in the early going from the floor for the Tornadoes.
Yeah, I would love to see a 3-ball knockdown for the Pride here. Kind of just get your first one under your belt. Hopefully they just start falling.
Horton to McKnight, now back to Horton up top, now inside to Brown. Brown turns and drains it, 50-42. So one of the tough things about Division III is sometimes records can be a little bit spotty, as Howard shot no good, picks up his own miss, goes back and lays it in, 50-44. And so I will start this with a caveat of saying I'm trying to fill in the pieces in our Greensboro College record book. But I will say dating back to 2014, which is as far as I've been able to go in this category, there has never been a game in which the Pride did not make a single 3.
Wow.
Horton slings this all the way to the far corner. McKnight now a step inside the line, and the jumper good on the baseline, 52-44.
Pride switching to a 2-3 here early on in the second half. They're just not getting enough depth and or width to be able to stop them.
Jackson again contested in the lane. Foul call. DJ goes to the line as Brock McKnight will pick up the foul. That'll be his second personal. Jackson with 8 points goes to the line. Hard to believe this is DJ's first trip to the stripe today. Free throw is good, 52-45. Second free throw from Jackson, off target, no good. Wilson with the rebound, gives it to Horton, and here come the Tornadoes. Wilson back up top to Horton, foot on the line, so a long 2 off the back iron, no good. Loose ball in the lane, Ryan Roberts will dig it out. Roberts with it, gives it to Jackson, the left wing. Jackson now up top, slings it down low to Howard. Howard contested, no good. Loose ball in the lane. Wilson with it, just hands it to Horton, who passes it to Brown, and Tornadoes out of harm's way. Shot no good from Carnes. Rebound by Howard. That'll be Jeremiah's 9th. One away from a double-double. Chivers from the free throw line, good. 52-47.
As you mentioned before, Jeremiah Howard close to a double-double. We'll continue his streak of hot games.
Yeah, I'd say you look at the last 3 games coming into today, is that one from Wilson is good for 3. Say Howard's had 2 good games and a solid game, and he's following it up with another good game here today. Timeout here, which will be the bonus timeout. 13:27 to play, 55-47 is your score in favor of the Tornadoes on the Greensboro College Sports Network. $13:30 to go, 55-47 the score. So far here at Greensboro College as Jackson tries to push that one in. Shot's no good, but he'll go to the line. Foul called on number 4. That's going to be McKnight. McKnight picking up his 3rd. Team foul number 5. But no, over the last couple weeks, Greensboro has withstood an ice storm, a couple of snowstorms, and now they're having to deal with tornadoes here in Haynes Gym.
Yeah, let's talk about the snowstorm. Very impressive snowstorm.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that, but it was definitely fun. Got some sledding done, and now we're here facing a tornado.
Free throw from Jackson, good. So he hits 1 out of 2, 55-48. Now here's the big question, Jay Sean, because I know you're on the football team. Have you ever played football in the snow?
Yes, I have. I definitely have.
Got to give the Pride credit there as that one loose in the lane. Now back up top to Wilson. They were almost ready for that cut. Will Gray got a hand on it that time. Horton just inside the free throw line. Spins it out to Wilson. 3 ball. That's no good. Howard will steal the rebound. Chivers up ahead. Spins through a double team. Now taken by the Tornadoes. Taken back by Gray. Gray, 2-hand jam. It was sloppy, but Will Gray made it look good at the end, 55-50.
Another chain of events that ends up positive for the Pride. Will Gray slamming it home.
Pass down low to Wilson. Up top now. Long shot there, no good from Asuji. And Greensboro the other way. Again, trying to stack some defensive stops and cut into the deficit. Gray up top to Roberts. Now to Chivers. Chivers back out to Roberts. Roberts bounce pass down low to Howard. Had it, lost it, foul. I think Asuji's going to pick up the foul. He will. That'll be his 2nd, team foul number 7. Well, again, if Greensboro can just get to the line, especially this early, you're knocking on the door of the bonus here, then it could be in good shape the rest of the way. That takes us to the under 12 timeout, just barely 11:59 to go, and it is 55-50 Tornadoes on the Greensboro College Sports Network. 11:59 to play, which means the clock has not struck midnight yet. Greensboro still has time, down 5. And they're going to inbound. It'll be Chivers, Roberts, Jackson, Gray, and Howard, the rest on the floor. Tries to air this one up to Howard. Howard in the lane through contact and gets it to go. Jeremiah Howard. Give him an A+ for degree of difficulty on that one. It's a 3-point game.
High-level shot there from Howard, fighting through the post pressure, getting it done.
Gray gets his hand on that pass. Howard with the steal up ahead to Gray. 3-on-2 for the Pride. Gray, left-hand layup, too strong, no good. Loose ball goes to McKnight. McKnight bothered in the corner with a double team. Looking up ahead, he finds Wilson. And the Tornadoes in the front court now. Wilson backing out of a drive. Up top to Horton. And things settle down at least for a moment. Looking for a cut, out of bounds. Too strong on the pass.
Might be the first backdoor cut that has not been successful for the Tornadoes here.
You know, we've not seen Greensboro press a whole lot defensively. They've had success with it in spurts. 11:14 to play. Jackson with it. He's bothered there by Horton. Bounce pass up top, that's Ingram. Ingram now driving left-hand spin move in the lane. The floater no good. And the rebound taken by Asuji.
As you said earlier, I wonder if a press or something like that would kind of mess with the tempo of Brevard in their passing, kind of more pressure, force them into a little bit less percentage passes.
Wilson thought about a 3, now pulls up. Jumper from the free throw line, that's good. 57-52. Chivers handling point guard duties here. Wonder if that kind of frees up Jackson a little bit to kind of create his own shots. We mentioned Greensboro still looking for their first tray of the game. Chivers spin move in the lane, pulls up, jumper from the block, no good. Baldwin looking for Horton. Horton now gives it to Wilson. There's a 3. In and out again. You can hear the frustration from Brevard. Another 3 that looked good everywhere but the finish.
Brevard just 3 of 17 from beyond the arc in this one, and they definitely have seen a lot of in and outs.
Roberts looking left hand, gets that one to go. Had just enough English on it. I thought at first on release it was a little too strong, but he got it to curl back in.
A good post fade is one of my favorite shots in basketball, man. It's so fascinating.
Under 10 to play. And spin move there in the lane by Caleb Duncan, the senior guard. Haven't called his name yet today. Foul called. It's going to be Chivers. It'll be his second. So Duncan will go to the line. He is 2 of 4 from the free throw line this year, and the free throw is no good. Second free throw coming here as they make a couple other substitutions as well, do the Tornadoes. For Greensboro today, that one in and out. It's kind of a dance with the ones that brung you for the Pride. They're not subbing maybe as much as they normally do, kind of electing to stay with a certain set of guys. Ingram, fancy footwork in front of Brown, gives it to Chivers now. And I think they're going to call him for, it's an off-ball foul there on, is it Duncan, Jay Sean? Yeah, Duncan. Yep. Caleb Duncan, the senior, called for the foul. And again, Greensboro in the bonus, so Roberts goes to the line.
Yeah, Duncan got tied up with Roberts there. Not a good foul that you would want to push the Pride into the bonus if you're the Tornadoes, but Ryan Roberts looking to hopefully knock these down.
But and this makes me wonder, too. We talked about it, how Greensboro wanted to try to be aggressive and force Brevard to send the Pride to the line as Roberts' free throw is no good. Now that you're in the bonus, I think that even becomes more so of the plan. Get to the line. Get those points.
For sure.
Horton sprinting right-hand side, kicks this one back out to Suji. A spinner, no good. Chivers, long feed up ahead to Roberts. Roberts lays it in. Long feed up ahead, Chivers to Roberts. It's a 1-point game.
Chivers seeing some of his first playing time this year, but he's moved the ball well and really stepped into that point guard role almost perfectly for the Pride here.
Brown to Baldwin, back up top to Asuji. Asuji trying to work on Howard. That one intercepted by Ingram. It was tipped by Roberts. Ingram sprinting up ahead, had Chivers, wants to take it himself. Shot's no good. The dunk doesn't count. There's going to be a foul on Brevard. Ingram goes to the line, and this is Greensboro's opportunity as the foul is called on Brown.
One thing I'd like to say about the Pride that we haven't seen much this season, they're staying out of foul trouble. Only 3 fouls here with just under 8.5 to go in the second half, and they find themselves in the bonus.
Greensboro a disappointing 2 out of 8 from the free throw line this half. Free throw good there from Ingram to tie the game at 57. Carnes checks back in. Howard out, Will Gray in for the Pride. Bit of a smaller lineup now without Howard on the floor. Free throw coming from Ingram. And the Pride regained the lead, 58-57. I have a feeling the lead's not done changing hands yet.
No, we're definitely going to see a lot of lead changes. We're in for a good last 8 minutes.
Baldwin fouled by Ingram, trying to pass it up top to Carnes. Q Ingram is going to pick up foul number 1, so that's a big thing. Your leading scorer today just now getting hit with his first foul.
Yeah, definitely key, and I also want to point out Pride has done a great job defending Carnes in this second half. Pretty much held him silent so far. Their leading scorer in the first half held silent in the second.
I think, 3 points in the second half after 10 in the first half, if my memory serves me correct. Looking for the cut. It still works. Horton lays it in, 59-58.
Sometimes you just got to go back to what you know. They definitely do that on that possession.
Ingram up top to Jackson. 1 point game again. Two teams battling for position. That feed down low to Roberts. Roberts fouled on the way up. And Duncan's going to pick up another. That'll be his second. Team foul number 9. Well, I guess one of the good things is, at least in terms of individually, Jay-Sean, when neither team gets in foul trouble in the first half, you got a lot to give. And that will be the case, as both these teams can be shooting from the stripe a lot the rest of the way. That takes us to the under 8 timeout. 59-58, the score in favor of the Tornadoes here on the Greensboro College Sports Network. Well, the good news, the Pride have gone to the free throw line 10 times in the second half. The bad news, they've only made 4. So I think for Greensboro, the order of business here, hit your free throws.
Right. Yes, you're in the bonus. Yes, that is a plus. That is a positive, but it's what you do with it. Got to knock these down here.
So Roberts will go to the line. He's got 8 points today. He's 0 of 1 from the stripe. We should mention, by the way, in all the fast-paced action earlier, as the free throw is good, Jeremiah Howard did get his double-double, 15 points and 11 boards.
Just continuing his hot streak of games, proving to be just a force to be reckoned with when he's on the floor.
Second free throw from Roberts, no good. We're tied at 59. Should mention, too, Howard's career highs are 19 points and 14 rebounds, so he's right on the doorstep for both of them.
Stepped into an elevated role here down the stretch of conference play. He's proved to be valuable for the Pride.
Not on the floor right now. There's a cut for Carnes. Good. This time down the side of the lane, not on the baseline. But just as effective, 61-59, Tornadoes back in front. Carnes now with 15 points. Gray to Jackson. Jackson to Roberts at the free throw line. Has Ingram up top if he wants it. Ingram, 3-ball. Give it to him. Well, we don't have to try to see what the last time Greensboro was held off of the three-point column as Q Ingram puts the Pride back out in front.
And that's a huge one. Needed that one. Puts them in the lead.
Going around the perimeter are the Tornadoes. Now Wilson. Wilson trying to back down Chivers. Spin move there. Dies off the front of the rim. No good. Foul called. And I don't think Will Gray agrees.
I thought we were going to get an over the back there, but they'll get.
Chivers called for the foul, which is his third. Free throw coming here. And rattling home for Wilson. He's got 13 points. Brevard has 4 players in double figures. Horton with 17, Carnes 15, 13 for Wilson and 10 for Brown. Now 14 for Wilson. He makes both free throws, and the Tornadoes lead by 1. Chivers to Gray. Over to Chivers' 3-ball from the right wing. That's no good. Rebound taken there by Baldwin. To Horton. Up ahead now to Brown. Brown in the lane, lays it home. High off the glass, 65-62. Howard about to check back in for the Pride. Missing a little bit of that height down low. Jackson to Ingram. Ingram trying to go right now left. Spins, jumper, too strong. Carnes with the rebound. Under 6 to play. Gray with the takeaway. Will Gray gets Carnes in the air. Shot's no good. A foul called. That's going to be on Horton. Will Gray's going to go to the line. KK Horton, just his second personal. Will Gray will go to the free throw line for the second time. The Tornado lead is 3, is now 2. As Howard checks in. McKnight checking back in as well. Second free throw coming for Gray, and good. So Will Gray, a perfect trip to the line to make it 65-64, 5:45 to go. You weren't kidding. We're going to be in for a fun one here the rest of the way. Wilson in the lane, tries to get around Howard. Shot's no good, but a foul called. Jeremiah Howard picks up his third personal. You know, you said it a minute ago, Jay Sean, Greensboro had a couple fouls to give. Those have evaporated in the span of the last 45 seconds or so.
Yeah, definitely went away very fast, and that one on someone you definitely don't want fouls to get on. So hopefully the Pride can limit this, stretch this last foul before the Tornadoes are in a bonus.
Free throw coming, and good. 66-64. 5:36 to play. I think one of the big things here that would be detrimental to either side as the second free throw rattles home would be one team or the other going on a big run. We've not really seen that much in the second half. Both teams kind of playing close to each other, just giving what the other team allows. Howard just puts that one in. Kind of stumbled backwards, but still flipped it up and in. Jeremiah Howard, 17 points.
Yeah, great look there. Another mismatch. You got to take advantage of that as much as you can.
It kind of reminds me in a way of how Pfeiffer used Doug Jones against the Pride a couple of weeks ago. Wilson tries to sling this one out to Baldwin, but a foul going to be called, and I think it's going to be Gray. It will be. That's Will Gray's fourth.
4 for Gray there definitely hurts, especially this late in the game.
Wilson, a perfect 5 of 5 from the free throw line. He was 73% coming into the day. Free throw good. 68-66. Second free throw is good. Well, Brevard is getting him at the stripe today, 11 of 15 from the free throw line. About 75%. 69-66. Gray, left, right, picks up the dribble. Ingram, three ball. That one no good. Howard, though, offensive board, and the jam. Jeremiah Howard ties his career high with 19 points. Baldwin up top, steps back, three ball. That's good. Tyler Baldwin. 38% from three this year, and now makes it a 4-point game. Chivers bounces it up top to Jackson. Jackson to Gray. Gray lost the handle for a moment. Foul called on Wilson. Hard to believe that'll just be Wilson's first foul.
Wow. Seeing what Jeremiah Howard could do down below there on that last possession, it's very impressive. The huge size difference, huge strength difference between him and Carnes over there, and he's going to work.
Will Gray, 3 out of 4 from the free throw line today. He's got 7 points. Give him 8 now as that falls home, 72-69. Both teams are in the bonus, so you talk about how the last 2 minutes of a close basketball game are the longest 2 minutes. I think we may be in for that today. Free throw, no good, and Carnes comes down with the board.
Free throws are going to be a key part of these last 4 minutes. Both teams shooting just hovering around 60 to 70%. Free throw is going to be key.
Carnes picks up the dribble, needs help, goes back to Brown. Brown to Horton. Horton now at the free throw line, left-hand side, bounce pass, no look to Carnes, doesn't get it, but Brown will recover. Now to McKnight. McKnight trying to work on Ingram to Carnes, three, that's no good. Tipped out and saved by Brevard. Pass down low to Carnes. That one blocked by Howard. Jeremiah Howard with the swat. And they're going to say possession stays. No, they're going to switch it. First pointed towards Brevard. They switch it to Greensboro. And the Pride maybe just injected a little momentum here with that block from Howard.
Huge block there. Jeremiah Howard, ability to just completely shift the momentum, get the crowd into games, and he does it on back-to-back plays there.
Under 4 media timeout. We'll take you the rest of the way when we come back. Brevard leads at 72-69 on the Greensboro College Sports Network. .336 to go. Greensboro trailing Brevard by 3, and Jay-Sean, with seeding ever so important in the USA South, especially for these teams sitting around that 4, 5, 6 area. This is kind of one of those games where I think regardless of who wins, the other team comes out of this saying, we really should have won that game today.
Yeah, these games are going to be huge, as you said. Only the top 6 teams make it, correct? Yeah, so only the top 6 teams make it. When you're in that 4, 5, 6, and those 3 teams are playing each other, they're so key.
Greensboro is currently the number 5 seed. Brevard is the number 7, so 1 to the good and 1 outside looking in. Chivers picks it up just shy of the Greensboro logo. And the clock runs now under 3:30. Bounce pass to Jackson. That was dangerous. DJ was standing right next to him. Jackson pulls up 3 ball. Rattle again. Give it to him. DJ Jackson finally hits from downtown, and this game is tied at 72.
Couldn't have picked out a better time for DJ to knock that one down. We've got a tie game with 3 minutes to go.
Looking for a cutting Carnes, and no more the tie, 74-72. Carnes has 17 points. 3 minutes to play. Chivers, again, the bounce pass to Jackson. Jackson working to the left, slings this around Chivers. There's a three. Give it to him! Nigel Chivers hits his first collegiate three, I believe. Greensboro's lead goes to 1.
Another timely three there. Chivers knocking his first of his collegiate career down.
I was wrong. It's my fault. That's his second. He hit one already. Howard in the air. Carnes slings this out to Wilson. 3 ball. That's no good. Howard soars for the rebound. Greensboro tries to pad a 1-point lead. Chivers to Jackson. 2:15 to go. Howard, Carnes is down. Now underneath the basket, there's Chivers. Great find from Jeremiah Howard, and the Pride lead by 3.
Yeah, that's all you got to do there. They're going to start doubling Howard down below. When someone's doubled, there's one person open. He does a great job of finding that one person.
Carnes up top, hands it off to McKnight. There's a 3. That one dies off the front of the rim, but an offensive board by Brown. Wilson to Carnes up top, slings it near side Horton. Across Wilson, step back 3, that's good. 77 all with 1:40 to go, 100 seconds left.
Said there were going to be lead changes. We've seen so many just in these last 3 minutes.
Greensboro 1-1 in overtime games this year. Chivers to Jackson, floater to Howard. Howard is smacked into there. I think it's going to be McKnight. Yes, it will be McKnight picking up his 4th personal foul, and Jeremiah Howard goes to the line where he's 3 out of 5.
Just said they were going to try to double team him. Looks like they tried to triple team him on that one.
Howard, a career high 20 points. Greensboro again with a narrow 1-point lead with 1:25 to go. Second free throw, no good. Carnes to Horton, here we go. Wilson slings it around Carnes, 3 ball, good. Carnes has 20. He is 2 out of 5 from 3, and Brevard's lead is 2. 1 minute to play. Chivers loses the handle. Here comes Wilson on the run. Crossing Chivers, shot is no good. Foul called on Chivers. That'll be his 4th. Wilson goes to the line where he is a perfect 7 of 7.
Yeah, I thought that was textbook no foul defense. Didn't move his feet, got planted, hands up, but officials saw otherwise. They'll send him to the line with a chance to extend a 2-point lead.
Well, we mentioned Wilson 7 of 7. 2 makes here would be almost detrimental for Greensboro. Make it no longer a 1-possession game. Free throw good. It is now a 3-point game. 81-78. Brevard 13 out of 17 from the free throw line. Second free throw is good. 82-78, 54 seconds left. Greensboro's got to have 2 baskets and a stop sandwiched in between. Jackson kicks it to Chivers, right wing. Slings it down low to Howard. Howard in the lane. That one blocked. Not often somebody blocks Howard. Loose ball goes to Ingram. Ingram picks up the dribble, kicks it to Chivers. Thought about a 3. Now pulls up inside the arc. Shot's no good. Yes, it is good. It took a high carom off the iron. Chivers makes it a 2-point game. 1 second differential between shot clock and game clock. Timeout called by Horton with 23 seconds left. 82-80. How clutch was that shot there from Chivers? Looked a little bit out of control and still gets it to go.
Yeah, it looked like it was wobbling. I didn't think that one would drop, but it does. And it pushes it to a 2-point game. But the Pride, they took just a little bit too much time off the clock in that offensive possession. Now you really don't have a shot clock to work with, only a 1 second differential. 1 second's not enough to take a lead.
So at some point, do you say, hey, we just need to foul to give ourselves some time, or do you play for a turnover for a little bit and then maybe shift your opinion?
Yeah, for sure. My opinion, when I play my 2K games, I'm fouling, I'm fouling right now, and I'm giving my offense another chance to score, and then if I have to foul again, you foul again.
Well, the tough thing is, we talked about in the pregame show who you would go foul. Problem is, at least as far as today goes, there's not a good option. Maybe, I mean, you look at Horton's 1 for 2, but on the season, he puts up pretty good numbers. So, where do you go?
Yeah, I guess I can tell you a person not to foul, and I'll give that to Wilson, shooting 9 of 9 on the day. Do not foul him.
I don't know. Law of averages says he's got to miss eventually, right?
I mean, I guess, but yeah.
Well, really quickly, while we've got you, a reminder that we'll be back on the air on Saturday, a 2 o'clock tip-off for Greensboro College men's basketball. Pre-game show beginning at 1:40. And then we'll have women's hoops on Monday. So a lot of basketball being played makeup style with the weather wreaking havoc on the schedule the last 2 weeks or so. We got to get through these 23 seconds first, though. McKnight crossing the timeline. Gray almost to steal. There it is. Jackson to Gray. Down! Will Gray with the jam. We're tied at 82. Wilson in the lane, goes up, contested, shots no good, a foul with 4.9 seconds left, and Wilson goes to the line.
Not the worst foul, though. You save 5 seconds. If he doesn't knock these down, you still have a timeout. You can advance it. Sets up the Pride for a 5-second possession. You can definitely get something going with 5 seconds.
Yeah, I think as you said, if you're going to foul there, it's kind of best case scenario for Greensboro.
We talk about Will Gray there on that defensive possession. Forget fouling. I'm just going to take the ball and let's go jam it home on the break.
Wilson eyes the mark, and it's no good. Wilson misses the free throw. He is now 9 of 10, and Greensboro takes a timeout. .9 to go. Second free throw still coming. But my goodness, things have certainly turned on their heads here. A back-and-forth game. And it's still up in the air. Nobody knows what this is going to end up as. 9 of 14 is Brevard shooting for the free throw line here in the second half. 14 of 19 overall. Greensboro 15 of 25.
Yeah, I got to give that one to the crowd there. The crowd got loud. This gym is electric, especially in close games. Causes that one to not fall.
.9 seconds to go. Second free throw coming.
As you said, it would make sense for Wilson to miss his first. And excuse me. Yeah, that was his first of the game that he missed. And it came at a good time for the Pride. The crowd is electric. Miss Sherry, well-known cafeteria lady here at at GC. Everyone loves her. She's getting the crowd going.
We love Miss Sherry, absolutely. Second free throw coming. Greensboro's got two of their best rebounders on the low blocks, Jackson and Howard. Wilson, free throw. No good. Howard with the board. Gives it to Chivers. Gives it to Jackson. DJ puts it up at the buzzer. No good. Another overtime finish coming here at Haynes Gym. Oh, DJ Jackson almost played the hero. Greensboro, I think, almost wanted a foul there on Jackson's desperate heave, but as it stands, overtime. We'll step aside, catch our breath. Hope you do too. An exciting finish coming up with the Greensboro College Sports Network. College athlete has a story to tell, and at Greensboro College, we believe no one is better equipped to tell those stories than the athletes themselves. On the Getting to Know podcast, you'll hear the who, what, when, where, why, and how of each college athlete's journey to Greensboro and how they became a member of the Pride. We talk on and off the field, influences, hobbies, goals, and what it means to be a member of the Pride. It's all on the Getting to Know podcast on Spotify and YouTube.
You know, I just really felt like I was a person, you know, and they really cared about you, not only as like an athlete, but, you know, as an individual as well. And so that was one of the things that like led me here, honestly.
The Getting to Know podcast from Greensboro College Athletics. We are
All right, here we go. Put 5 more minutes on the clock. This will be the third overtime game for the Pride this year. They lost the season opener to Heidelberg 77-74 before winning a dramatic thriller against Johnson and Wales 95-94 to finish out the month of December. Greensboro wins the tip here in OT. Chivers spins high over McKnight. Shot's no good. Loose ball goes out to Brown. I think even more so what I said a little while ago, whoever doesn't win this game is going to leave feeling very disappointed. Yeah. Thought about a deep three, did McKnight. Gives it off now to Horton, now to Carnes. Now to Horton at the free throw line, one step inside it, and the floater good. Will Gray, the Pride down 2. Chivers looking to go down low to Howard. That lob play has worked time and time again for the Pride. Jeremiah Howard now with 22 points. We're tied at 84.
Not even a double team can stop. Help defense can't stop it. Jeremiah Howard having a night.
Carnes passed up an open three, looking for the cutting Brown. Brown sends it back out to Wilson, now to Carnes. Quick ball movement here for the Tornadoes. Carnes to McKnight. Loose ball stolen by Jackson. Jackson, long feed to a running Chivers, lays it in. Greensboro takes an 86-84 lead. Now can you protect the lead and then build it? That's the question. Brown slings it to Carnes for 3. He's money. Carnes hits his third three-pointer of the game, and Brevard goes up 87-86. 30-second timeout called. We'll keep it here.
Carnes, couple timely threes in the second half. He's their best scorer for a reason. He gets it done in a key spot right there.
Well, I know nobody was thinking about it with all the drama going on today, but there is one other game in action right now. 34 seconds left in the first half. Methodist all over Wesleyan, 45-27 in half number 1. Which Methodist is actually 2 games behind Wesleyan in the standings right now, so Monarchs cannot overtake the Battling Bishops today, but certainly making a statement on the road.
Definitely caused a shakeup in the bottom half of those rankings, too.
Back here at Haynes Gym, though, 3:27 to go. After Carnes with another dagger, he's 3 out of 6. And here's the interesting thing. You look at him and the success he's had shooting the 3. You take him out, and the team is 4 out of 20.
Proves to be very important to that offense.
Chivers to Jackson. Jackson wanted to go down low to Howard. Can't find the lane for the pass, though. Gives it to Gray. 3-ball, Will Gray. Give it to him. Will Gray has 13, and Greensboro goes up by 2. Well, the Pride 0 of 6 from 3 in the first half. They are 3 of 6 since then. What a difference a half makes. Wilson, there's a straight on 3, no good. Board goes right back to Brown. Pass looking to go down low to Carnes. Swatted by Gray right back into Brown's face. He maintains possession. Wilson to Horton. Now back to Wilson up top. Carnes up top now to Brown inside the arc. Bounce pass down low. Swatted by Howard. Goes to Ingram. Another turnover forced by the Pride. That is the 13th Brevard turnover.
Huge defensive possession there from the Pride. Got to stack those.
Ingram in the right wing, now up top to Gray. Greensboro would love to make this a 2-possession game. Clock winding down towards 2 minutes. There's a 3-ball, no good. That one, though. Chivers picks up his own miss, foul called. And, Nigel Chivers is going to be called for the foul. He followed his own shot, knocked, I think it was Horton, down to the ground. And Horton's going to shoot free throws the other way.
What a controversial, game-changing type of call there. That's going to be Chivers' 5th. Not a good time to get it. Someone that's been scoring well, especially late in the stretch.
So Chivers fouls out with 13 points and 6 rebounds. And Horton is 1 of 2 from the free throw line. The fans get loud, and the free throw is good. 89-88. Second free throw coming. And no good. Greensboro's lead is 1. The Pride are 3-9 when allowing 80-plus points this year. It's another barn burner here at Haynes Gym. Ingram in the left wing. Dribbling with the right hand on McKnight. Tries to go down low to Howard. Howard muscles his way up too strong. Gets his own miss, though. And the putback is good. Jeremiah Howard makes it a 3-point game as he continues to add on to a career-high night. Horton to Wilson, up top to Carnes. Wilson picks up the dribble, slings it around. Horton gets a little separation. Now to Carnes, steps back, thought about a 3, gives it to Horton, drives on Howard, gets around him, and lays it in. 91-90. 80 seconds to play. Greensboro's lead is 1. Jackson slows things down here for a moment. Gray now on the far sideline, picks up his dribble up top to DJ. 60 seconds remain. Ingram down low to Roberts. Roberts trying to back down his man. Tough shot, that's no good. Off the side iron and a foul. Foul called on Horton. That will be his 3rd personal. And Ryan Roberts to the line where he is 1 of 3 today.
I was curious as to what the Pride would look for there with such an important offensive possession, and they did what was smart. They kick it to a big and hopefully can knock down these free throws.
Roberts does knock down number 1, 92-90. The senior eyes the mark. No good on the second free throw. 50 seconds remain in the 2-point game. Up top to Carnes. Looking for the cut. Roberts was there, but Horton saves it. They sling it around the perimeter now to the Tornadoes. McKnight to Wilson. Wilson picks up the dribble up top. Carnes 3. Off the front iron, no good. Loose ball is knocked out of bounds. A balancing act there by Brown. He could not save it. Shot clock is off at 26.2, and a timeout taken by McDuffie.
Love the effort there. Trying to fight for that rebound, but it's going to go to the Pride. Such a key offensive possession coming up here. No shot clock. Brevard might be forced to foul if they can't force a turnover within the first 10 or 15 seconds. So we'll see how they handle this defensive possession.
And I think one of the big things, too, and it's kind of been a storyline this year, maybe not a major storyline, but one of the areas the Pride have struggled this year is in the rebounding. And they've been out-rebounded a lot this year. And really, so far today, +9 on the boards, just showing up and being very strong around the basket.
Yeah, and I think that's a big up to Jeremiah Howard staying out of foul trouble. He's Pride's best rebounder, and he's showing that today. He's got 16 so far on this night.
A career high for Howard in both points and rebounds. Greensboro has 6 players in double figures. The last time that happened was in 2020 against Huntington. Long feed down low to Roberts. Roberts bounce pass to Jackson. There's a foul. So about 6.5 seconds off the clock there, as the foul's going to be called by Brown. That's his second.
Yeah, the Tornadoes will opt to possibly send this to a 2-possession game, which I'm a little curious as to what the philosophy is behind that. Roberts knocks both of these down. This game is just about out of reach.
He is just 2 of 5 today. First free throw for Roberts is good. 3-point game. Second one, this is a big one. It's good. 94-90 with 20 seconds left. I'm sorry, go ahead, Jay Sean.
Sorry, if you're the Pride, you're just thinking one stop. That's all you need.
Horton trying to push the issue a little bit, gives it to Brown. Now to Carnes, 3-ball. That's no good. Back iron. Jackson has the board, and he's fouled by McKnight. McKnight will foul out with 4 points. DJ Jackson will go to the line and try to ice what has been a hard-fought contest here tonight. I say ice, no pun intended there with all the winter weather outside.
Just a hardcore USA South dogfight here. Just great basketball to watch. Great game from both of the squads. But Pride will most likely come out on top of this battle.
I did almost fall in the parking lot earlier today.
It's definitely dangerous on these walkways over here.
DJ Jackson, 2 of 4 from the stripe. 3 of 5. That's a big one to make it a 5-point game. A little side story with the win today. Coach McDuffie moves into sole possession of 14th on the all-time wins list, passing Rusty LaRue. 96-90, second free throw good. Baldwin racing up in the front court. Pulls up, deep three, no good. Gray with the board, and triple zeros on the clock. Well, Greensboro survives tonight in a wild one, 96-90. The tornado threat is over, and the Pride moved to 4-4 in conference play with a 96-90 win over Brevard I think it's a great game, probably one of the best games we've seen this year. But we'll break it all down for you here in the postgame show when we come back. Greensboro getting it done on the Greensboro College Sports Network. College athlete has a story to tell, and at Greensboro College, we believe no one is better equipped to tell those stories than the athletes themselves. On the Getting to Know podcast, you'll hear the who, what, when, where, why, and how of each college athlete's journey to Greensboro and how they became a member of the Pride. We talk on and off the field, influences, hobbies, goals, and what it means to be a member of the Pride. It's all on the Getting to Know podcast on Spotify and YouTube.
You know, I just really felt like I was a person, you know, and they really cared about you, not only as like an athlete, but, you know, as an individual as well. And so that was one of the things that like led me here, honestly.
The Getting to Know podcast from Greensboro College Athletics. We are one Pride, and these are our stories. Postgame show here on the Greensboro College Sports Network. Greensboro gets it done 96-90 over Brevard today. And Jay Sean, as we look back at the numbers here, just a lot of things you could say. I think grit and perseverance for Greensboro, though, although they're intangibles, are the first two things I thought of.
Yeah, I like the word perseverance to describe this game. I mean, taking it to overtime, a couple costly fouls that didn't go their way, but they didn't break down. They didn't collapse. They stayed in this game. Timely threes came in the second half. From what was a quiet first half from beyond the arc, they hit them in the second, and it overall worked out.
Absolutely, and I think one of the other big things, too, for Greensboro today was, we saw they were getting beat on that baseline cut in the first half. While they were not completely successful against it in the second half, they made enough of an adjustment that all of a sudden that felt like you took away Brevard's best option.
Yeah, I saw the adjustment there. Jeremiah Howard, he wasn't getting as much depth at the point of that bottom three in the 2-3 zone. He wasn't getting as much depth. He was staying closer to the basket, and it kind of eliminates that. And same with both of the wings on the bottom of that 2-3 zone. When they switched to man, they did well reacting to it. That second half was a great defensive second half.
So Greensboro now 4-4 in the USA South, which means they're tied with Methodist, although Methodist is about to win and go another half game up. But for the Pride, I think certainly putting them now 3 games to the good of the cut line, I think you got to feel pretty comfortable. Still a ways to go. You got 7 more games to play, but so you got to feel pretty good about where you stand.
Yeah, that was a key one. When you can win a game against a team that's also in that playoff hunt, kind of knock them down a game, knock you up a game, it puts you ahead in the conference standings, and it puts you ahead morally. It's a great win, team win. Loved it.
Normally, this is the part of the game or part of the post-game show, Jay Sean, where I'd ask you for a player of the game. Is there any doubt, though, about Jeremiah Howard tonight?
No, not at all. His best game of his career, 24 points, 16 rebounds, 10 of 17 from the field. I mean, stayed out of foul trouble early, 1 foul in the second half. You can't ask for a better game from your starting big.
Well, Jay Sean, we'll let you go here right after this, but really quickly, looking ahead, we got another big one coming up on Saturday. It's a 2 o'clock game against North Carolina Wesleyan, who's having it handed to them right now, down 21 at halftime against Methodist. This is a Wesleyan team that's going to be looking for blood. How does Greensboro continue the momentum?
Yeah, got to keep this momentum flowing into the next game. Another team kind of on that cusp. You can knock them down a game, knock you up a game. If you win that one, you put yourself in a great position to finish out conference play and to really keep the team morale up going into the tournament.
Jay Sean Ayala, thank you so much as always, and we'll see you Saturday.
Thank you. See you guys Saturday.
All right, we'll step aside. Post-game show continuing when we come back. We'll have a player interview. We'll hear from Jeremiah Howard. We'll look around the USA South and Greensboro College athletics again, and then we'll wrap it up with stats one final time. So we'll step aside when we come back. More on the post-game show on the Greensboro College Sports Network. Every college athlete has a story to tell, and at Greensboro College, we believe no one is better equipped to tell those stories than the athletes themselves. On the Getting to Know podcast, you'll hear the who, what, when, where, why, and how of each college athlete's journey to Greensboro and how they became a member of the Pride. We talk on and off the field, influences, hobbies, goals, and what it means to be a member of the Pride. It's all on the Getting to Know podcast on Spotify and YouTube.
I just really felt like I was a person, and they really cared about you, not only as like an athlete, but, as an individual as well. And so that was one of the things that led me here, honestly.
The Getting to Know podcast from Greensboro College Athletics. We are one Pride, and these are our stories. Pride Postgame show continuing. Greensboro College, a 96-90 win in overtime today against Brevard. Take a look at what else is going on around the conference. We mentioned halftime. Methodist leading North Carolina Wesleyan. They've now just started the second half. 48-29 is the score. Methodist really spreading things out offensively. Seven different players have scored for the Monarchs. KJ Brooks leading all scorers with 12 points. Still to come this week is 4 games on Saturday. William Peace and Mary Baldwin. Wesleyan is at Greensboro. Pfeiffer at SVU. And Methodist taking on Brevard on Saturday. And all of those games scheduled to tip off at 2 o'clock or earlier. So an early slate for the USA South on Saturday. As far as Greensboro College athletics are concerned, men's wrestling on the road at Washington and Lee today. They're on the road at Shenandoah tomorrow. Women's wrestling heads to Columbia, Kentucky for the Lindsey Wilson Women's Open on Saturday. Women's basketball on the road at Salem at 2 o'clock tip-off. Our next broadcast will be 2 o'clock on Saturday as well, as men's hoops take on North Carolina Wesleyan with our pregame show beginning at 1:40. Men's lacrosse begins their season and officially opening crossover season for us with a 4 p.m. start on the road at Oglethorpe down in Atlanta. Next week, we have softball, women's lacrosse, and baseball all beginning their seasons as well. But again, our next broadcast will be at 2 o'clock on Saturday. 2 o'clock the tip-off, 1:40 the pregame show on Saturday. We'll step aside and take a look at the final numbers when we come back. Greensboro getting it done today by a final score of 96-90 over Brevard. We'll wrap things up with a postgame show when we come back on the Greensboro College Sports Network. Every college athlete has a story to tell, and at Greensboro College, we believe no one is better equipped to tell those stories than the athletes themselves. On the Getting to Know podcast, you'll hear the who, what, when, where, why, and how of each college athlete's journey to Greensboro and how they became a member of the Pride. We talk on and off the field, influences, hobbies, goals, and what it means to be a member of the Pride. It's all on the Getting to Know podcast on Spotify and YouTube.
You know, I just really felt like I was a person, you know, and they really cared about you, not only as like an athlete, but, you know, as an individual as well. And so that was one of the things that like led me here, honestly.
The Getting to Know podcast from Greensboro College Athletics. We are one Pride, and these are our stories. Wrapping up the Pride postgame show, Greensboro College with a 96-90 victory here against Brevard. Greensboro will improve this year to 8-11 and 4-4 in conference play. Brevard falls to 8-12 and 1-8 in the USA South. Taking a look at the final numbers now from today's game for Brevard. Excuse me. Carnes and Wilson both with 23 points each. Leading the way, KK Horton with 22, 12 for Brown, 6 for Baldwin, and 4 for McKnight. Leading rebounder today, Brown with 9, 6 each for Carnes and Wilson, 3 for Horton, 3 for McKnight, 2 each for Baldwin and Duncan, and 2 each for Asuji and Duncan, and 1 for Baldwin. Leading assister today, Horton with 7, 5 for Wilson, 5 for Carnes, 4 for Brown, and 2 for Baldwin. 2 steals each for Wilson and Horton, 1 steal for Brown, 2 blocks each for Brown and Horton, with 1 block each for Wilson, McKnight, and Baldwin. Brevard today shooting 52% from the floor. That's 34 out of 65. Shot 23% from 3. That's 7 out of 30. And 68% from the free throw line. That's 15 of 22. Comparatively speaking, Greensboro wins the rebound battle today, 46-35, including 14 offensive boards that they turned into 22 second chance points. Brevard just 4 offensive boards that they turned into 5 second chance points. Assists go to the Tornadoes, 23-13. Turnovers, 13-7. Greensboro doing a really good job hanging on to the ball today, just committing the 7 turnovers. Bench points, 25-6 in favor of the Pride. Blocks go 7-1 to the Tornadoes today. Fast break points go 17-15 to Brevard. Steals 10-5 in favor of Greensboro. Points off turnovers, 14-9 in favor of the Pride. Points in the paint, that was a really close number at halftime. Greensboro pulls away in the second half, 58-46 in that one. As a team for the Pride, 48% from the floor today. That's 36 of 74. They were 4 of 13 from 3, including 4 out of 7 after halftime. 0 for 6 to start the game by the time we hit the midway point, and then they were again 4 of 7 in second half and overtime. 20 of 31 from the free throw line. That is 64%. Individually, Greensboro was led by another double-double from Jeremiah Howard, setting a career high with 24 points. 19 points from Q Ingram, 15 from DJ Jackson, 13 from Gray, 13 from Nigel Chivers, having a career night as well. Ryan Roberts with 12 points. Rebound leader Jeremiah Howard had 16, 8 for Roberts, 7 for Jackson, 6 for Chivers, 4 for Ingram, and 3 for Will Gray. Assist leaders today, Chivers and Jackson both with 5, 2 from Jeremiah Howard, and 1 from Ryan Roberts. Steals leader Will Gray with 3, 2 each from Jackson and Roberts. Chivers with 1, Vincent with 1, and Howard with 1. Jeremiah Howard had Greensboro's lone block as well. And it all adds up to a 96-90 victory for Greensboro today as they take down Brevard. For the Pride, bouncing back after a tough loss on the road against SVU, and they get it done here at home. They'll have another opportunity to do the same thing against North Carolina Wesleyan, currently sitting in the number 3 spot in the USA South. But again, I think this is a Battle and Bishop's team that is going to be out for revenge after the way that they've been handled by the Monarchs. Still 15 minutes left in that game. Full discretion, but if things end the way that they have gone up to this point, I think this is going to be a North Carolina Wesleyan team ready to get back on track. So Greensboro will certainly have their work cut out for them on Saturday, but the team that we saw today certainly looks able to be up for the challenge. That'll wrap everything up here for us today from Haynes Gym. A big thank you to our game day management staff for everything they do to help make these games go off and the broadcasts go off as smoothly as they do. Our Director of Sports Information, Stephen Whitenhouse. My producer and analyst today, Jay Sean Ayala. And that will do it. Final score one last time. Greensboro College defeating Brevard 96-90. Your final score. I'm Kendrick Fruits wishing you a green and white good night. This has been a presentation of Greensboro College men's basketball on the Greensboro College Sports Network. Actually, we're going to keep it here just for a minute. Right as we were signing off here, we've got a special guest in the form of Jeremiah Howard. So let's hang off for a minute on that. And there we go. Hey, Jeremiah, how are you? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Perfect. Well, hey, congratulations. Incredible game today. New career highs, 24 points and 16 rebounds for you. Just talk a little bit about what's been working for you here recently. It's been a really good stretch of games for you.
Well, first off, I would like to thank my teammates helping me out in practice, pushing me to be a more aggressive, more score-first mentality, dunk everything, you know. I want to thank my coaches also. They've been telling me you could be the most dominant player in this conference if you put your mind to it. So going into that with those wise words, been dominating ever since.
Well, you know, it certainly seemed like the play call today was lob it somewhere near the basket. Jeremiah's going to get his hands on it.
Yes, sir.
Tell me a little bit about just the confidence that your teammates have in you to say, hey, if we just throw it up there, that they know that you're going to be the one to come down with it.
It starts in practice, we practice on that. If I catch the ball, they want me to score it. They had the confidence in me knowing I'll put the ball in the basket, and I had the confidence in them knowing they'll get me the ball to put the ball in the basket.
This is obviously a Brevard team you guys played today that is sitting on the outside looking in for the postseason. So obviously they gave you their best shot today, and it certainly felt like a game that I said whoever lost this game was going to be disappointed, right? This is one that could have gone either way. Tell me about the mindset for you guys in the huddle. How do you get this thing finished today?
We got to have a next play mentality. You're going to make mistakes. Teams are going to go on runs. We can't let that dictate the rest of the game. We all know we are a very talented team. We know at the end of the day, just like other teams can go on runs, we can go on runs too. We got to put it together. We got to get stops. We got to keep a next play mentality. We got to keep attacking, do whatever it takes to get it done, but we will get it done.
Jeremiah, it looked like in the first half, Brevard was having a lot of success with that baseline cut. They were able to sneak behind the defense and find some separation underneath the basket. What kind of adjustments did you guys make at halftime to shut that down in the second half?
Communicating with each other. We realize it's us not making communications with each other. Often we'll get confused. We'll miscommunicate with each other, and it led to easy baskets for them. All we had to do was talk. Effort, too. It's got to take an effort. Once we did those things, came together, put them away.
Big game coming up on Saturday against North Carolina Wesleyan. How do you guys shift your focus and focus on the battle in Bishops now?
Last time we had a slow start against NC Wesleyan. We got to come out with an attack-first mentality. We know that they're a team we can't sleep on. We can't take them lightly. We have to attack first and attack often. Consistency as well. If you're open, you had that jump shot, you got to knock it down. We got to get to the free throw line. We got to get stops. We got to have energy, high energy from the start, high intensity from the start. Keep it going.
Well, Jeremiah, congratulations on your big night. Congratulations on the win, and good luck again on Saturday.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I'll take that headset for you. Thank you, sir. All right, well, that'll wrap things up here on the Greensboro College Sports Network. Greensboro getting it done today, 96-90, the final score over Brevard. Again, a big thank you to our game day management staff, our Director of Sports Information, Stephen Weidenhouse, my producer and analyst today, Jay Sean Ayala, and I'm Kendrick Fruits, wishing you a green and white good night. This has been a presentation of Greensboro College men's basketball on the Greensboro College Sports Network.